for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins. Make sure you guys go check out my sponsor, Easy Mutt. Use code VENOM at checkout for 5% off. Yo, what's good guys, Venom Fire here back from the video, and today we're going to be continuing our Pro Players series, and today we're going to be bringing you guys the Club Championship winner, JWall's Guntrips tight end offense. This is one of the most unique ways to run the Guntrips tight end offense. Even if you are running trips tight end, you've ran it before, which probably the majority of you guys have. There's a lot of unique setups and good things you can take from this offense. We're going to be going over a total of around 5 plays. 5 passes, rather 6 plays with the inside zone. And yeah, overall, let's just go ahead and get straight into it. Also, make sure you guys do hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. If you're returning, turn on those post notifications. Drop a like if you enjoyed this. And follow me on Twitter. Link will be down below in the description. But yeah, let's jump straight into it. So we're in Guntrips tight end, Las Vegas Raiders offensive playbook. As far as our abilities you want, what he used was Hot Route Master Gunslinger. And then he used Playmaker. I think he used some other wide receiver and tight end abilities. I'm not exactly sure which those were, but he did use like a tight end ability and I think another receiver ability. But yeah, you want Playmaker. Put your Playmaker here in the slot. I use Christian McCaffrey because he's the only guy in regs I can show this with that has that Playmaker ability. And yeah, Brady, he has Hot Route Master. He has Set Feet Lead instead of Gunslinger. Pretty similar though. And yeah, so overall, here's a look at our audibles. You got PA counter go at X, inside zone, PA shot post, and then X spot. The other plays we're going to go ahead and go over are going to be curl flat, which is actually probably the most popular play that he used. And then we also have verticals for one setup. But yeah, with that being said, we're going to start out in this curl flat play. Let's go ahead, hop into that. I'm going to be kind of audibling around between man coverage and zone coverage throughout the video because, again, Pavin actually did mix up his setups pretty well in that game if you guys watched between zone and man. So some of these plays are better against man coverage. Some of these plays are better against zone. But yeah, let's go ahead and start out again in this curl flat play. And with the curl flat, it's a little bit interesting. We have a lot of routes that we can take. And for our first setup, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're just going to smart out A. So smart out A, that's going to make the tight end a little bit shorter. Now this play becomes even better in 2nd and 5, 3rd and 5, 2nd and 3 situations. Unfortunately, in practice mode, you can only simulate plays from a 1st and 10 standpoint, so I can't necessarily show those types of things. But yeah, the corner route becomes even better once it gets shorter. And a guy like Rob Gronkowski isn't exactly super fast anyways, so he's not going to exactly get too much separation on man coverage, whereas a Team of the Year Darren Waller would. But again, smart out A. What you're going to do is you're just going to drag A, and that'll be a common theme throughout the video. We're always going to be dragging Christian McCaffrey just because he's going to be a playmaker. We want an easy route that we can playmaker up or to the left or to the right, depending on man or zone. So yeah, drag A, you're going to go ahead and post this outside receiver X, Mike Evans here. You're going to put him on a post route just like this. Also smart out that, and again, that post becomes better in a 2nd and 5 situation. And the last thing you're going to go ahead and do is just slant Y and block your running back. So here's a look at our setup. We're going to motion Chris across the formation just like so. And it just gives you a lot of good options here. You see against the particular coverage, I can just easily playmaker Christian McCaffrey back. So that's the way that usually you're going to use playmaker against man coverage. You'll playmaker him back to the outside. Again, against zone, you're more likely to playmaker up, but you can still obviously playmaker him to the side. It just depends on the coverage, where his user's at, things like that. And I urge you guys to watch all of those competitive games just to learn how to use playmaker a little bit better. Because again, even I'm not the best at using it. But yeah, we'll go ahead and show that setup again. I have a lot of setups in this video, so I'm going to go through relatively quickly. I will leave a Google Doc with all of these setups down below in the comment section, so you can go ahead and check that out. You see a written version of this. But again, that first setup was to block your running back, smart out A, post X, smart out X, drag B, and slant Y. Again, we're usually with these plays, we're taking one route that we like and building around. And some of these plays, we're actually just going to be completely, playmakering around. There you see Gronkowski able to get open. Again, that corner route's very solid. All these short corner routes are pretty good. I'll show it one more time. Again, block your running back, smart route A, drag B, slant Y, post X, smart route X as well. Let's hop into like zone coverage or something, and then you'll see now probably the most popular way to run zone coverage is going to be something like this. So that's probably what I'll be doing throughout the video, just to show you guys what people would probably do. And he would obviously be using Jalen Smith more than likely. Again, with 2 controllers, I can't do a whole lot with this, but I'm just going to kind of show what you could do with the playmaker. I'm going to playmaker McCaffrey up in this particular run here, so I'll just playmaker him up, and boom, you see that quick little release. We did get hit as we threw, but that's completely fine. So let's move on to our second setup, and our second setup is going to be a little bit more of a quick snap setup. So we're just going to drag B and smart out A. Those are the 2 things you're going to do. Go ahead and snap the ball. With this curl route, you can definitely throw it even on man coverage. The way you do that is you just low ball by holding the left trigger, and then you press Y once you throw it for an aggressive catch. Aggressive catch is going to have him come back to the ball rather than a possession catch where he's just going to stand there and wait for the ball to come there, which against Acrobat is going to be an interception every single time. So again, this setup, just drag B, smart out A. We're going to leave our check and release Texas route with Ronald Jones here. So we're just going to do that. And again, you see with playmaker, I can still playmaker him back out. In that particular run, the man coverage kind of sent the one that was manned up on RB, but even if RB was manned up, that would be a man coverage beating route. But yeah, again, pretty quick snap, basic type setup. It works again, zone, cover 3, sky. Let's just go ahead and set that up really quickly, snap the ball, and boom. So you see I can check down to Y here. Depending on the particular coverage, what the zone drops are set. Sometimes X is open, sometimes the flat's open. Again, the drag, corner route, and Texas route, very difficult to use or all of that. Let's move on to our next setup. Our next setup is going to be very similar to that one. What we're going to do a little bit differently here is we're just going to drag X. Again, we're going to smart out A, and all we're going to do differently is just post X. So again, sometimes those curls aren't working. They're not getting open. This is a little alternative thing you could do. And again, against like zero coverage, I'll just set something up like this. That post route can definitely get open with the right receiver. I'll just like shade underneath how they would with like a 1-step ahead ability, and you'll see sometimes he can get separation. Again, you can always playmaker back. RB, he's usually open. But yeah, overall it does give you some good options. Now Mike Evans pretty slow. He has bad speed, so he's not necessarily going to get super open against a corner that's faster than him, but that post route's definitely a threat. Again, that setup, put a X on a post, smart out X, and just drag B and smart out A, just like this. Again, I'll just kind of run through it here, and you'll see, boom, Ronald Jones. I believe Evans a little bit open. If I were to lowball that, Gronkowski, you see he's getting open pretty much every time down the road. The tight end's very difficult to guard because you can't press him at the line of scrimmage, so he's going to be a key factor in your trips tight end offense. But let's move on to our last curl flat setup. And again, I do apologize for going through a little bit faster, but again, I have a whole lot of setups for this. So let's hop into our last curl flat setup. What you're going to do is you're just going to fade X here. The next thing that you're going to go ahead and do is smart out A. We're going to drag B and cross Y, block your running back. So here's a look at our setup. We're obviously going to motion Chris Godwin over, which is the common theme of our motion. We're always going to be motioning him over. Snap it right there, because when I snap it there, he's going to get wide open. Now, not only that, but he actually threw a touchdown, I believe, on this exact setup. This was his first touchdown of the game, where he had that Randy Moss down the sideline on that little fade route. So again, here is a little look at our setup. We're just going to cross Y, smart out A, drag B. Gives us a lot of options, and again, you're expecting to kind of playmaker that player back out, just to kind of clear some of the space. I'll just put X on like a blitz here. But again, motion Godwin over, and you see how the corner is going to motion all the way over. So if I snap it right here, I'm going to get an easy initial step. You see Mike Evans also has separation. The free safety was defending that, but on this next play, I'm going to actually take away the free safety. Let's just throw him on like a hook curl, and Mike Evans should get open. So again, fade X, drag B, smart out A, and block your running back, cross Y. So again, a lot of these setups, we're taking, that tight end route for curl flat in particular, and we're just building around it. Motion him across, and boom, you see Evans. Now Evans is a lot higher overall than Trayvon Diggs right here, but Randy Moss was going against the 99 overall, probably cornering Eric Allen, and still got that separation and animation. So those fade routes, definitely solid. But let's go ahead, move on to our next setup. Now, curl flat's definitely far and away the most popular play that he used, but we still, which is why I spent so much time on it, but we still have some other good plays, good setups. We're going to move on to the X spot play. So X spot, Now what he does with xspot is a little bit different. He's not really going to use one route in particular. This is just kind of a base play to hot route master around. So he's going to actually, usually I believe, end up putting it every single player on a hot route is kind of what I'm trying to say. So with xspot, I'm just going to go ahead, fade X. I'm going to streak A, drag B, cross Y, and I believe either block your running back or put him on a wheel route. I think for this one, we're just going to put our running back on a block. So we just have kind of a basic route combination. We're kind of testing him deep, but we have a little crosser. We have our backside playmaker. And again, you don't have to playmaker that player super quickly, especially when people are rushing 2 or 3. You should have a little bit more time. You're blocking 6 people. You can kind of slide out to the right side of the pocket, then playmaker him back. Makes it a lot difficult to use her. But yeah, this is just a good overall base kind of concept in my opinion. Again, here's a look at our play art. Similar to some things we did out of curl flat. We just do have a couple of different routes here. So again, just motion Chris Godwin over and snap him a little bit early. You see we're going to get that really good separation. I can kind of playmaker as a distraction. And again, if people are getting risky with that 2-man under defense, they're putting flat zones on the field, they're putting hook curls, they're putting inside thirds, you can sometimes catch them off guard and beat them vertically down the field. This is overall a great play to kind of build around and do that with. So that was our first setup. I'll show it just one more time here. Again, here's a look at our routes, and I could actually build this around any play. So here I didn't even audible, but again, I just ran xspot just because, and that's also similar with some of the other plays you'll see. But yeah, so here's a look at our setup. Again, just motion them over. Just a good base concept. If it's cover 2, it can definitely get open as well. You can see I can kind of playmaker them up, then throw it. If not, I have the crosser coming across. So it gives you options. Overall, a very, very solid play in my opinion. Let's go ahead and move on to our next setup. What you're going to do with this next setup is you're just going to smoke screen X. You're going to drag B, cross A, and then we're actually going to block a running back and put Y on a little route once we motion him over. Now, the route I want to put Y on is going to be this route with Evans. So it's going to be a deep post like that. But you can't put him on that from the slot, obviously. So I have to motion him over, and then right when I motion him, I can just push my D-pad to the left, and that will allow me to put him on a post route. So again, here's a look at what I want. I'm going to motion him over, then immediately I can put him on a post, and you see it's like that. You're actually going to do a little bit of a motion snap. You're going to kind of wait and then snap it like that, so you just get a little bit of a boost. You see if I wanted to, usually I would be able to get a little bit of separation. Awuzie just absolutely bagged that. But yeah, that's the kind of route combo that we want. Again, here's a look at our setup. Just a lot of base concepts. Don't overthink it. If they're going with like a cover 3 type sky look here, something like this, just a double flat type look. I'm not exactly sure what Pavin was doing on the defensive end. Again, we can't see his part throughout the game, so I don't have a good idea. I can kind of take a look at what he's doing, but yeah, just some base things. Sometimes it's just good not to overthink it and just, run basic concepts. Don't overthink your offense. Don't put too much, diabolical routes on your football field. And sometimes those can be even better than just really complicated schemes that are difficult to learn. But yeah, I'll show that one more time. Here is a look at our setup. And again, this is a thing that I could do just out of any play, really. It doesn't have to be xspot necessarily, because again, we're hot routing every single player that we have on routes. So again, here's a look. Y on a post, A on a crosser, B on a drag, and X on a smoke screen. Again, even though I have a smoke screen over there, boom, I can playmaker McCaffrey. Y is just kind of a deep threat if it's zone coverage. Sometimes those deep posts can also get open against man coverage. Chris Godwin, again, he's a slower type receiver, 92 speed type guy. In Ultimate Team, if you have 399 speed receivers, this offense will be definitely better. But again, we work with what we got here. Anyways, let's move on to our next play, which will be the PA post shot. Very, very solid play. I've talked about this play a lot. I've made actually separate videos on it. It's very, very solid, and I have even more setups than I necessarily went over. So if you want more setups, I've dropped a lot of trips tight end videos. You can definitely check those out. But again, we're just talking about what he ran. So we're going to go ahead and basically just smart route X. Sorry about that. We're going to smart route X here just to get that post route a little bit shorter. We're going to go ahead and drag B, cross A, and then we're going to block our running back. So here's a look at our setup. We're going to do something with Y as well. We're actually going to put him on a stop and go. Now, if I smart route him now, for whatever reason, when I motion him over, it actually resets. So you'll see I'll motion him over. Now he's back deep, I believe. Or at least he was before. Yeah, you see he goes back deep. So once he motions across, you have to do it again. But you see, boom, Very, very solid route. Now, that wasn't the type of animation that we want, but you'll see when I run this play a couple more times, we're going to get some better animations with that stop and go against man coverage. Very good man coverage beater. This play overall just has man coverage beaters across the board. Not really a play that you want to run against zone, I would say. Again, here's a look at what you're doing. Drag B, cross A. And again, with Y, I can just motion him over. Then I put him on a stop and go. And then, or actually, you have to do it from the slot. So I messed up there because you can't do the stop and go from the outside. I completely forgot about that. So when you're doing this route, you put him on the stop and go when he's in the slot, just like this, and then you can motion him over, and then you can smart route him like this, and you will be good to go. Or you have to wait for him to kind of cross that tight end, then you can smart out it. But boom, that's the animation you want, even with the strong safety and deep half over there. Still able to fit it in there, especially with Gunslinger. Brady doesn't even have Gunslinger, but that's the type of routes that you can get. We'll throw some other routes here, though. And obviously, again, these are man coverage beaters. Put them on a stop and go. Motion them over, and again, make sure that you do smart out X as well. Smart out Y. Kind of wait for him to like lollygag a little bit over there. Boom, I can throw it to B. Wait for him to come across. The tight end's open with a little bit more speed, but I could have thrown that to Gronk as well. I believe Evans ran it. Let's run a little bit of a cover 0 because those safeties are kind of giving us a little bit of trouble. So I'll just run something kind of like this on offense, or on defense rather. But here's a look at what we're doing again. One last time with this setup. Motion him across on that stop and go, and then wait for him to cross, then smart route him like this. So here we're running like a little bit of cover 0, and Mike Evans just got bagged for whatever reason. But usually you can get some separation. Trayvon Diggs definitely shouldn't be bagging him like that. But maybe it was just the kind of press. Again, people are shading underneath. Mike Evans is slower, but that post route does beat man coverage majority of the time. Sometimes these presses just give him really weird animations, so that's usually the cause of it. Anyways, let's move on to our next setup, and it's going to be a similar concept to some things we've done. We're just going to change up a couple of routes here. What we're going to do is throw X on a little bit of an out route here. Again, this is out of the PA post shot, so we're actually putting X on an out route. We're going to go ahead, drag B here, cross Y, streak A, and wheel RB. So here's a look at our setup. We're going to motion Chris again across the formation. Sometimes people are going to forget about the running back. You've seen how many setups we blocked our halfback out of. It's definitely possible that your opponent forgets about him and doesn't either throw a flat zone on that right side because they're expecting the playmaker to always go back, or they go ahead and don't actually man him up, use that player that's manned up on him for another zone. But that's definitely something you could see when you're running a concept where you're blocking 6 every play. It's not too out of the ordinary, I would say. Again, here's a look at our setup, and this is another hot route master type setup. I could run this out of any single play I want to, but again, just motion him across the formation like this, and you see this crosser very, very solid. We're getting really good separation with it, even with a receiver that's not super fast. Shows you how good this route really is. Again, the out route's just kind of there. You can definitely do this against zone coverage as well, especially if they're playing super far over the top. I can easily just kind of snap throw that out route if I wanted to. Again, all these routes will be open. I did forget to put Chris Godwin on his crosser, and you see if you don't put him on the crosser, he's not going to flip. So it's important that you do throw him on that crosser before you motion him over again, because if you motion him over, he only gives you the deep routes from there, which is why we used him for that kind of post route that I was talking about. But again, motion him over just like this, and you will see, boom, even against zone coverage, I could easily throw X there. I can still playmaker McCaffrey back. If nothing's open, I could have thrown the wheel route as well. A's just a clear out, but overall, very good concept. And yeah, with that being said, let's move into our last sock play, which will be the PA counter go. Then we'll hop into the inside zone and then verticals. So out of the PA counter go, this is actually the play he threw an interception in the red zone with. So this play is probably more of a red zone play. He didn't really run this play at all outside of the numbers, or outside of the red zone. But yeah, here's a look at what he did. He threw A on a drag, B on a post, and RB on a ghost route, which is this, deep head to the left. Here's a look at what you do. You just kind of snap the ball. Again, he threw B as a post, but this is just a good man coverage beater. Y is a pretty good route against man. You have B if it's zone coverage, which it was, I believe. Sometimes this ghost route can definitely pull zones down, so I can go, I think I'm in the wrong play here, but again, Just a little quick snap play. You're only using 3 hot routes, so I can kind of motion the ghost route out, and you see how he pulls him down. That was the idea of the red zone touchdown, and it worked perfectly. Anyways, I'll go ahead and show it one more time here. And again, this play is a little bit weird. Even this out route with Chris Godwin. Sometimes you'll see he probably gets a really good release off the line. But after that, he kind of like slows up his route. It's a pretty weird out route. It does end up working against man coverage. But here, let's audible to cover 3. Just again, show something different because I've been in man coverage a lot. Although man coverage usually online is really what you will see. But I can throw it to RB. I believe McCaffrey would have been open anyways, but yeah, that's the basic setup. Again, not run a whole lot, so I'm not going to talk about it for too long. But overall, it's there, and it's a throwable ball. If you want to, especially if you want to run something unique. But let's talk about inside zone. This is a key part of the trips tight end offense, especially for guys like Fancy, JWall that they ran. In this inside zone, it's not just the inside zone, but it's cutting it back. Now, cutting it back is definitely difficult. I've ran this. I just labbed it for like a decent amount, just a couple of plays. But it's pretty difficult to learn this cutback, so I'm just going to kind of show it. But that's kind of how you do it. Now, it's difficult to explain. You have to be able to stop and go. I did make a stick work tutorial on how to stop and go, so I'll probably leave that video in the description if I remember. But if not, you can just look it up yourself. But yeah, you have to be able to stop and go first of all. And then even, I'm pretty good at stop and going, I would say. And even with that, you see I can't do it perfectly. Just kind of showing the replay though. Basically, when the ball is snapped, you're just going to kind of do that stop and go how you would. So I'm just going to kind of move my left stick to the left like a little bit, and then I'm just going to hold right trigger, hold left, or hold right trigger and hold my left stick to the right immediately to get that little speed burst. You see here, just kind of get the handoff, then I'm immediately going to stop, and then I can easily cut back. It's going to pull the zones in. You see I had nothing here. I got shedded immediately. There was no running lane, and it's really easy for me to cut it back. Now again, I'll show the play and you'll see I won't be able to get it every time because I'm not perfect at it. It's going to take a lot of labbing, but that's kind of how you do it. And you see guys like Fancy, they can do it absolutely instantly. JWall, he wasn't as good as Fancy, but he was still pretty good at doing it. Again, you just kind of stop and go like that. And right there we got shedded, but you see it was a pretty good cut. It's very good against formations like 3-3-5 wide, which is I'm assuming why they kind of labbed it. But there you see again, and that's not perfect. I think the perfect way to do it is usually just without even holding your left stick to the left. But there's some way to do it. You just kind of get that animation. But you see when I don't hold it to the left, I get a slower animation. But overall, I think the way I do it is pretty decent. Again, it's not perfect. You could definitely sit in the lab, just run inside zone for an hour and probably figure it out. But that's a pretty good way to run it, I would say. Again, I'm using Ronald Jones. He had 99 overall, Barry Sanders. So there's different levels to the guys that we're using, but again, overall it would be better with a guy like Barry. But you see just the cutback, it's really, really hard to stop, especially with the user. The way you stop inside zone out of trips tight end, the way I stop it is just by shooting the gap. You obviously cannot do that, and even if you do that, if you play the outside heavy, I can just simply run it inside. But usually when you run the ball, you just kind of want to stop and go. You read the holes, boom, now I can actually cut it back inside. So if there's leverage on the outside or the inside, I can shoot wherever side is open more. Just a pretty simple, basic run. Again, this takes practice. Even I can't do it perfectly, and I've been running it for I spent like 10 minutes before the video just running inside zone. Overall, very, very difficult to do. But that's the next level between a good trips and a great trips tight end offense, learning how to do stuff like this. And again, I'm not even good at it. I wouldn't even consider myself good at it, but you see I'm decent enough at it to still be able to get to the outside relatively quickly. Again, kind of stop. Now, even when I mess up, it's going to open up holes up the middle, and just stopping overall is going to help you with running the ball. Be patient, read the inside, again, kind of cut back. That was a slower handoff, but again, Ronald Jones is an 83 overall, Barry's a 99, so there's a lot of differences in those guys. But yeah, as far as inside zone goes, kind of bluffing it, you want to make a couple of fake hot routes. Now, in practice mode, they don't show animations, but Brady would be pointing to the left. You put your tight end on a route, he's going to point to the right. You put your running back on a route, he's going to kind of check his hip like that. And again, some good ways to bluff it are also using motion. Now, when you use motion, the cutback's a little bit worse because there's an extra corner out there, but it can definitely put some pressure on your opponent to play the pass rather than the run, even if you are running the ball in inside zone every time. That motion's definitely going to make him think that you're passing the ball, and that's a good way to do it. But Yeah, let's hop into our last play, which is just one verticals setup. Alright guys, we got one last vertical setup now. This was only used once in the game by him, but I'll just show it briefly here. What you want to do is basically drag B cross A and block your running back. So here's a look at our setup. We have a nice kind of stock fade route, and you'll see Evans should get some separation on that side. But what I'm going to do pretty much here is just motion Chris Godwin across, kind of turn his post route into like a fade route. Now this is not very good. You kind of have to snap it earlier. When you do that, the cornerback's just not as close to it. So this play can definitely catch you off guard. It's pretty good against things like cover 2 as far as getting to the outside. But they have to be playing a particular style of defense. It's not my favorite play, but again, I just said I would throw it in there. Again, here's a look at your setup. You kind of have to snap it here to get like that fade. But again, Awuzie has the speed advantage on Godwin, so he's not going to get too much separation there. But yeah, just kind of showing off the play a little bit, the setup. If I go to like something cover 2, this is a pretty good cover 2 beater, I believe, but it has to be on the short side of the field. Again, this is just stuff I'm showing, but he didn't actually run. If you wanted to know a cover 2 beater out of it, I'll just throw it in real quick. Something like this, I believe, can get separation against cover 2. Just kind of fading to the outside like that. Now, I snapped it too early. If you wait a little bit, he's going to get even more open. But yeah, that was the vertical setup he ran. There are other setups. This was only in his game against Pavin. I didn't even hop into the one against Fancy because I didn't want the video to be, an hour long. But there's more stuff you could add and watch. And a really good way to get better overall is just watching these pro players. I just kind of grab all those. Again, I don't buy their ebooks or anything. I just watch the games and take the setups and do this. So again, hit that like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And peace. I'm out of here.